Well, how y'all doing, guys? Welcome to another episode of TJ's Chainsaw Restoration. Well, as you can see, we got this big old beast back together. This is the Homelite 2100 Special. You might notice my first video, I believe I posted as a 2100 Super. It's actually, according to one of the decals, the 2100 Special. And because I'm pretty sure that on the back decal here it said Super above automatic in between the 2100. So, but anyway, the 2100 and the Special and the Super I think were pretty much the same model. They could both pull anywhere from a 18-inch to a 60-inch bar. 114 cc, 7 cubic inch, 2¼ bore, 1.5-inch stroke or something like that. I mean, just pretty big for a saw. And these ones were made, I don't know the beginning year, but I know they were discontinued in 1972, and I believe they started, this particular model was actually manufactured in the Port Chester, New York plant. So that would have made this an earlier model, which I believe was, or maybe it was the other way around. One of my other Homelites here, which is blue. Let's see. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just trying to, let me figure this out real quick. One of these saws I've got here, oh, it's not one, there we go. Okay, so I got the old C5, was also made in Port Chester, New York, and it's powder blue. I'm trying to figure out, for the life of me, I can't remember what. Yeah, that's also New York. So my Super XL Automatic was also New York. Anyway, I think it was North Carolina and New York, and one of them, New York was earlier, or the other one was earlier, and I'm sorry, for the life of me, I can't remember. But for the heck of it, let's just see here. This one's a really old saw, and it was, yeah, Port Chester, New York. Okay, so yeah, Port Chester, New York was the earlier plant. So this 2100 is an older model, and I believe it's a 60s model, because when they went to the next plant, they went from red to green to blue, and then back to the red, and I believe they went red to black after that. So the 2100, I believe, was always red and black from beginning production to the end, but due to the fact that this one was a Port Chester, New York model, that was where it was manufactured, this should be a late 60s model. As far as the beginning production, I'm not sure what it was. I couldn't find any place that actually said the beginning years, but I did find they were discontinued in 1972. This saw is a really, really neat old saw. I thought it was seized, and luckily it's not. It wasn't even close. I found that the starter rope, the pulley was seized inside the pulley cover. It was just full of sawdust and corrosion. I mean, it had been sitting outside forever, at least about 2 years at the shop I work at. So the rings are worn. They're tired. This saw is a tired saw, but it runs like a top, and I'm looking forward to doing some cutting with it before I tear it down. This saw, the plan is a kind of like I did with the 770, a re-ring, circlips, and a full tune-up and a repaint. So basically making it like a brand new saw again, and then seeing what this thing had for compression when it was new. And I'm sure it's a lot more than it does now, because that old 770, before it dropped a circlip on me, you had to start that thing on the ground if you valued if you valued not being in any type of pain, because that thing had some good compression, and they didn't have decomp valves back in the day. So there's a few things to fix on it. The handle, as you guys might be able to see right here, is cracked on this side and this side. So I'm either going to have it TIG welded, or I'm going to have my muffler guy go ahead, TIG weld it by my muffler guy, or I'm going to have just find another one and just replace it. The roller nose bar was good, and I already had a chain made for it. It's a 404 chain, skip tooth. Got a new rope installed. So there you guys go. So and then kitted the carb, cleaned out the carb real good, kitted it, replaced the fuel lines, flushed the fuel tank. It oils really good, and then just dismantled it and just cleaned it out. And it runs like a top. So let's get you guys turned around, and we'll just show you some of the features this saw has. Okay, so there you guys go. Old rusty bar with a brand new chain on it. But that's a 36-inch roller nose bar, so it's decently long. But as you can see, guys, this saw is just in pretty darn decent shape for its age. And that's what's kind of rare, is finding a saw that's in decent shape. As you guys can see, the side cover there, one of the bars is broken and the other one's about ready to break. So if I want to get this thing completely back to original, I'll probably have to look for one of those too. Let me get you a better shot of that handle. So here you go. As you can see, I did try to do some brazing / soldering, but it didn't work very well, and I'm not too happy with the outcome at all. Alright, well, let's get with some of the features. So some of the features this thing had, if I can get back here far enough. So usually you ran it like this. Your manual oiler override was right here. This is an automatic oiler. That's what the automatic stands for. But you had your manual override. Your stop switch is right here. And your choke. And then also your high idle or full throttle lock is right there, and it works. Top load on the fuel tank and a kind of a top side load on the oiler. Got a big old air filter on it. Get this off, but the one thing I liked about this particular model, along with the C5, was the ease of workmanship. It's a big old filter. Hasn't been cleaned. It's been blown off, but I need to actually put some brake cleaner on it and get the crap out. But look at that. Carburetor's right there. 2 bolts and thing slides off. I mean, it's about as easy as it gets. Fuel line goes through there. And the cool thing is, too, 4 bolts and the whole fuel tank comes off the front. It's really nice. Your little brass clip, very easy to lose. I've only lost 1 million of them. Carburetor's held on really well. You got a mount here, you got it mounted back here. I got new fuel line on it, new carb, and then your adjustments there. So, and it's got a good size filter, because you got to have airflow. It's a big old, like I said, it's a 7 cubic inch saw, and you know, of course, in my world, that's the automotive world, that's super small, but in the chainsaw world, that's pretty darn big, considering I think currently the largest chainsaw that I know of is the 661 Still that's available in America. I think, well, actually Husqvarna might, I don't know, I think Husqvarna has gone to their 5th generation, so I don't remember what, but I think the largest cubic inch saw in America is maybe 6 cubes. I don't even think it's all that big. So, but yeah, back in the day it was no replacement for displacement. So, I will say one thing though. You take this cover off back here and run this thing, it's like a dang leaf blower. That flywheel moves some air. I almost blew the tarp off of this thing with it. That's a little exaggeration, but man, it was moving some air. But yeah, we'll have to get a cutting video with this thing soon. This is going to be part 2 or 3, I can't remember, but one of these days we'll get a cutting video with it. Hopefully tomorrow, actually. In case you're wondering, it is New Year's Eve today. Let's get you guys turned around here. Yeah, so it's New Year's Eve today. Today, I believe, is the... oh, wait a minute. It's Saturday. It's not New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve Eve. It's the eve before the eve. So it's the 29th today. Excuse me. Tomorrow's the 30th. Monday's the 31st. I hope I got that right. I've been known to get dates screwed up. But anyway, yeah, so it's... what else was I going to say? You know, that's the thing about being on camera. I always have brain farts, big time. But that's pretty much about it on this thing. We'll get a cutting video up on it soon. Basically, yeah, it's like I said, carb kit. The carburetor really wasn't that bad on it, which was nice. the old parts. I already threw them away, but you know, these old tilts and carburetors were pretty cool. A lot of times the diaphragms actually held up to the fuel, and you could almost run them. That was the one thing that was nice about the older saws, is you could let them sit for weeks and dump the old gas, put some fresh in, and a lot of times they would actually fire up. Hold the tune. Oh, sorry guys, it's late and I'm tired, but a coworker just got his ProMax 70 running, and it had been sitting for, I believe he said, 10 years, and it actually ran without him even going through the carb. He basically just flushed the tank out, cleaned it out, put a new filter and spark plug in it, and it fired and ran. I mean, that with a new saw, shoot, that would have been impossible. These old saws are just, they were made really well, and they're just made with, it was before all the EPA crap. So as a mechanic, it's just a bunch of crap that you got to deal with as far as the EPA goes. That's the beauty of the old saws, just before all that. So, well, we'll get a cutting video going for you guys. Sorry I didn't kind of do a step-by-step. I just, I got into it. You know, I wanted to get this one running. Kind of got in a hurry about getting it running. But as the restoration goes on, which is going to happen probably, I don't know, maybe next month, next year, I should say, not next month. Of course, it'll probably be next year when I get this video uploaded, but we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens. I got to get paint, and I got to see what I can get for parts for it. So far, I think I've found all the parts I need, which would be rings, seals, head gasket. Because, like I said, the piston cylinder looked great, so I think what I would do is just blast the cylinder, hone the inside of it, and then re-ring the piston. Probably put new circlips in this time just to be safe, and then reseal the bottom end, and then just repaint it, clean it all up, blast it, repaint it. Hopefully I can get a new handle and muffler cover, and maybe do an electrolysis on the bar, or I'll just sand it and then oil it. But for now, I'm going to do some cutting with it. I'm just going to have some fun with this saw before I take it apart. Because that's the one thing, is once you get them all painted up, it's you just can't. It's almost makes you cringe every time you think about getting sawdust on them, and that's the one thing I don't want. I figured if I have too much fun with this saw, what I may end up doing is re-ringing, resealing, and not painting it. Because I'm planning on doing a show next year at the Labor Day Festival we have locally, a chainsaw show, an antique chainsaw running show where I'm cutting lumber with a coworker. We're going to bring our antique saws, so I'd rather not have a bunch of beautiful saws that I'm going to spoil at that show. I'd rather just have some old ones that are rebuilt and running good. So I think this might be one of them. I may restore it, and it'll be kind of a shelf saw, kind of a running shelf saw, but I can cut with it. But you know what? If I want to go cut some lumber with it, I don't want to feel bad about it either. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But restoration is up in the air, and to be quite honest, guys, leave some comments if you think I should restore it. Comment, you know, leave a comment about it. If you think I should maybe just re-ring it, reseal it, and then run it, leave a comment about that too. You know, it's nice to have some input. This is a restoration channel, so you know, ultimately I do like to restore these saws, but at the same time, you know, this is a repair channel too, where I like to just get them running and then have some fun with them. So, well, this ends another episode of TJ's Chainsaw Restoration. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry this video was a little longer than normal. Just been crazy and just kind of want to give you an update. And it's a cool saw. So, alright guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I know I did. I enjoyed having some extra time off and enjoyed getting this saw going. So, guys, have a great evening and we'll see you next year.